Good morning. Welcome back to Papa's Plants. I'm Papa. So it's a beautiful morning this morning. We're in our first week of October here in Central Georgia, Zone 8B, and we've got things that we need to get done before the winter sets in. We need to get some propagating done. We need to get some splitting done, splitting up some of these perennials. So we got lots of stuff to do. Well, we still got a few weeks maybe of some little bit of growing weather. So hang in there with us today. We're going to be looking at a plant that we looked at a couple of weeks ago, and I was telling you then just how easy this plant is. But this is a variegated Liriope, and I've got several of these that we split up about this time last year, turned into some beautiful plants this year for us to sell, and so that's what we're going to do again this year. We're going to take. I've got probably 12 or 15 of these to split up, and we'll see how many we end up with. So hang in there with us, guys, and we'll be right back. Okay, y'all, we're set up out here under the shade house, and we're going to do some of these Liriopes like we talked about. These are in 4x4 inch by 4 inch pots, and like I said, these grew out all last spring and summer, all year. These are a few that we kept back, sold the rest. So I'm gonna do one, maybe two of these right here for you, and then I'll put it on time lapse, and we'll knock these things out right quick. So one thing we don't want to do is we don't want to bring these down too small, separate them out too small. We want them to look really nice, be a nice looking full plant for next year. So let's see what we can do. So once you get all the dirt kicked out of these things, then these things, I let them get a little dry. They actually separate, to me, I think, a little bit better when they're just a little bit moist. So anyhow, so if you reach down here, I know you can't see, but you can feel it. There's a little rhizome in there. What we're going to do is break it, break a big chunk off. And these are like hostas. These things are almost indestructible. Yeah, I should have watered these last night probably. So there's one. Uh, two. All right, so what we ended up with, really nice fan here. Okay fan, but it's two fans. Okay, clump. We'll call it a clump. And a couple of fans here, and then one real small one. What we'll do, we'll hold this one out a minute. If we end up with another one or two of these, we'll gather them up as one plant. But you know, that thing is small, but it's still got a nice root system on it. So, all right, another thing, we're taking them out of them 4x4s. We're putting them into these, I don't know, I guess some people might call this a quart, but it's a little bit bigger, gives a little bit more room. You see how these got really almost popped a root bound this year. So we're gonna give them a little bit more room. People think they're getting a little bit more for their money. Make sure I got that in the shot where you can see. All right, so like the hosta, we're gonna put these in. We're gonna make sure that we get plenty of dirt around these roots. We're gonna shake it down, pack it down. And then what I do is I make sure that I've got the crown of that plant right up at the top. Don't want to plant any of these plants. You do not want to plant them too deep. Too deep is a huge no-no. All right. So these things are about ready to be done for the year. So I'm gonna give them a big haircut. And that is ready right there. It'll overwinter beautifully in that pot. Come out next spring. Probably put off another 2 more shoots. Be a nice fan for that size pot. We'll sell them in the at the market next year. That one went pretty quick, so let's do one more. And again, another thing I do sometimes, I give these roots a little haircut. Don't hurt them. It invigorates the roots just like it does the tops. Get that top growth. You want to keep them cut back while you're growing them out. Same thing with your roots. Got a guy that's been doing this 30, 40 years told me that's what you need to do, and I've been doing it, and it's been working out for me. So, all right, there you go. Give it a haircut. That'd be a really nice plant next year. So, while I got these in my hand, let me tell you something. Around here at Papa's Plants in my backyard nursery, we're always being frugal, and things like scissors take a beating. You don't want to take a really nice, good quality pair of scissors and use them out here in the garden. You want to use cheap scissors, but you also want to use some that's got decent blades on them that'll last for a while. These are Harbor Freight. You get them in the package. They run them on sale sometimes. I have seen them for as little as $1. I think typically they run $1.50 or $1.99. I don't think I've ever paid more than $1.99 for them. And when I go in there, I'll buy 5, 10, whatever. And just like pencils, these things are laying everywhere. So just about always can put my hand on a pair of these scissors right quick. So this right here is what you need. All right, so I'm gonna put it on time lapse, and we're gonna buzz through these things right quick, see how many we get, and we'll be right back. Okay, guys, so we got those broke up, potted up. We started with about 15, I think it was about 15 of those little 4x4 pots of these Liriope that we grew out last year. We got them broke up into 52 variegated Liriope plants that will be ready to sell next spring. Now, these things are easy to deal with. We spent about an hour and a half on them this morning. But we've probably got a little over a quarter in the pots, 25 cents each in the pots, and nickel or dime or so in the soil. So we got under 50 cents in each one. So there you go. Got 52. It's $6, about 300. So we should easily clear 275, 280 bucks or so next spring from these. And like I said, in just about an hour and a half's worth of work. So there you go. All right, guys, we're over here at the worm bed, and we started trapping these worms several weeks ago. And actually, I haven't even checked on them in about 2 weeks now, but we've been working on them a little bit. So let's look and see what we got going on. You can't see. You can't see. There you go. All right, so right here, here's the trap right here. Right here's where we've been trapping them. We've been putting them in the tote and sort of holding them in the tote. And let's see what we got going on. Like I said, I haven't even looked at this thing since for a couple of weeks now. Oh yeah. See all these worms up on top? They're trying to get out. They're trying to escape. Let's see what we got. Put some cabbage in here about a couple weeks ago, and it don't look like they worked on it too much. Typically, they would be tearing this up. Anything I put in here, they tear up. really go crazy on, but it looks to me like maybe I've got majority of them over here in this tub. So what I'm gonna do is pick through this cabbage, put it back over here in the trap. All right, let me get all this cabbage out of here, all this bait out of here. We'll be right back. Okay, so we got the trap out and we got the worms and the toad out that we had most of our worms in. So now we need to harvest the castings. And I've got just a blue tote, big tote right here. I'm gonna harvest the castings in. Now I know some of you are gonna ask me, what about the worms that you didn't catch? And inevitably there's going to be a few didn't make it in the trap. Well, they're gonna go in the bucket. And there's a few leaves. There's a few right there. There's a few leaves and a few things left in here from the summer. There's a little bit of stuff in here that didn't get devoured by the worms this year, so they will have something to eat while they're in this blue tub. Got to get another tub. Be right back. All right. Got us another tub. Now in the bottom of this bed, I've got some gravel, about probably 3-4 inches of gravel in the bottom of this bed, and I leave it in there for drainage. Because the original drain that was on this tub, I actually have a piece of screen over it. So any really excess moisture that gets in the worm bed for whatever reason can settle in that stone in the bottom and then work its way out the drain. And it's a great harvest. So I'm gonna drag these castings off the top of the gravel. All right, we're getting down to the tub now. Like I said, we got a little bit of gravel up here where the drain is, down here where the drain is. We're gonna leave the gravel for drainage. These castings down here at the bottom, they're nice and moist, but they're not overly wet by no means. So all right, so let me show you. We ended up getting 2 really nice tubs of castings. I'll keep those in the shop inside all winter. They'll be fine, just like they are. And then come next spring, we'll start pulling them out, putting them around some of our trees, and maybe even mix up a little bit with our potting mix for next year's plant. So there you go. That's this year's harvest from the worm bin. Okay, so we need to take a few minutes and put some bedding back in here for the worms that we've captured. This won't take but just a second. So in the wheelbarrow here, I've got, I don't know, a couple of 2 or 3 inches of peat moss, and I'm gonna mix that up with some ground up leaves. And all I do is I just take the push mower with a bagger on it, and I run it through the leaves I've got gathering up under some of the trees. So I've got peat moss and all this leaf matter. I'm just gonna give it a quick turn. We're just gonna put it in the bed. Okay, we're gonna do that again. We'll be right back. Okay, got another load here in the wheelbarrow, some ground up leaves. Put the rest of the peat moss in there with it. Mix it up a little bit. All right. So we got the bedding prepared. Worms will have plenty to eat on all winter. Plus, we give them a little bit from time to time during the winter. Every couple of weeks or so, we'll clean out the refrigerator and get all the excess veggies that we may have in there and give to them, and they do fine. I'm gonna dump this cabbage on this side. And we're gonna dump the worms right here. Got a siren going in the background. Got all the local hound dogs all fired up. Okay, so we're just gonna cast these worms all over the top. Okay, so that's ready. That's ready for the winter. Ready for another year of producing worm castings for the garden. So that's that. All right, guys, appreciate you being with us today. So we took about an hour and a half this morning, and we busted up those Liriopes, got them potted up, ready for the spring sales next year. Easy $250, $275 a day. This is easy money here, guys. If you like growing plants, and you want to start up your own nursery, it don't take but just an hour or so a week, a few hours a week. That's all it takes, especially this time of year in the fall. You start getting things ready, get a few plants ready every Saturday morning like I do. Next thing you know, come spring next year, you got a backyard full of plants to sell. So I appreciate you being with me. I appreciate each and every one of you that have subscribed to the channel up to this point. If you like this video, please subscribe. It will help me on the algorithm, and it helped me get this video out to more people. So again, appreciate you being with me. You guys have a great rest of the day and a great week, and we'll see you next week.